Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Brother. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Roommates Review. I'm your roommate, Liam.
And I'm your roommate, Evan.
Today,
we
are
studying
a
big
review
of
Avengers,
the
big
pig
in
the
city. Starring Babe, Pig in the City.
Why do we do a podcast after this? It's all downhill from here. Nothing's gonna top that.
The peak of comedy. I need to open the door because
it's 1,000,000,000 degrees in here somehow. Even though outside
the heating vent is going to kill me.
Yeah, even though outside it's very, very, very cold.
Something called the polar vortex.
It's not as cool as I thought it would be, though. It really didn't get that low.
Right.
Anyway, so we watched... did we even say the movie yet that we watched? No. But it's in the title. So, Avengers...
Yeah, screw you.
Avengers 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
2.
Again.
And...
It was better than I remembered it being.
That's what I was going to say. It was better than I remembered it.
It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Very confusing to me.
Yeah.
I wonder if I missed something the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little harder to follow. Or maybe us having the whole context of all the other Marvel movies really put it into perspective. But yeah, it was.
Because I remember disliking it in comparison for sure. And I went in watching it this time expecting to be like, all right, this is... pretty low tier for Avengers Marvel movies in general. But
no, it's very, very good.
It was really good.
Yeah, I was waiting though for the turn. Like, I know there's something I don't like about it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And didn't hit too many things. I would say the third act probably was the weakest.
And it usually is.
It usually is. For some reason, they don't know how to end movies normally. Right. But I mean,
yeah, the third act was kind of weak because Spade is great, but...
Spader. It's not
David Spade?
It's not David Spade. Still.
All right, Spader. I was close.
You were close.
I couldn't remember his first name, so I was just going to bet on Spade.
Yeah.
And I still didn't get it. Spader is great, and I think his voice is really good to listen to. Yeah. I thought Ultron was a little quirky. A little weird.
He's a little too goofy.
Yeah, he's a little too goofy. It's I get that they're trying to give him more of a personality because he's an artificial intelligence, make him like Tony Stark, but it doesn't come off very well. I don't think it really.
It makes it a little harder to see the evilness in him.
Right.
When
he's making goofs.
Yeah, but he's goofing around. It makes it a little harder to see like his pure evil. You don't really see him. Like, the only time he's really gotten Avenger against the wall is literally when he has Black Widow against the wall. Yeah. And he just puts her in a prison. It's like, okay.
Yeah, ooh. Yeah.
He's
evil.
Like, I want to extinct you, but, I also want you around, I guess.
Yeah, for reasons. Like, he had no plan with her. He just kind of...
It was to boost his ego, I guess. Which is his thing. He had a big ego, but yeah.
Yeah, and...
I don't know.
It had a weird, Savior Jesus Christ complex thing going on that is really played out and trite when it comes to, evil. Right. I wanted to say bosses, but it's not a video game. Just bad guys.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything that unique about him, I didn't think.
No, definitely not. His whole thing was just trying to bring in the next step of human evolution, which I feel like is something I've heard before in a movie.
Exactly.
Just like that's, nothing new. Not any new breaking ground.
He's got a god complex, wants to wipe out humanity and start over again and all that kind of thing, and a cleansing. It's not really something special.
Especially, I would say that's that was my... And maybe this is why I didn't like it as much when I watched it the first time, because you're comparing him directly to Loki.
Yeah.
And Loki was the best character in the movie. We talked about it for like 45 minutes in the last podcast, deciding which one was the best character, and we came to decide that Loki was, and he's not in this movie.
Yeah, and just having come off Avengers to Avengers 2, you know, you think that bad guy had so much presence and was so good. I hope they can deliver the same thing in 2, and they don't. They just don't.
No.
But the rest of the characters are really good. Well, majority of the
characters are very good. I don't know. There are a few problems. I think we should go negative first, then we should try to keep... because this is a good movie. Overall, 100% upfront, good movie. Mm-hmm. I am only taking off points from 100. And that's I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
There were a couple things that bothered me in the movie. I didn't notice it early on, but if I watched it again, I might have that same feeling. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to be looking out for this in future Marvel movies, and this may kind of ruin things for me. But they cannot sit on a cool moment and let it be cool. Every single time something cool happens in the movie, there has to be a reaction gag to it. Every single time.
That's true.
Vision, one that I'd been thinking about, there were several things that happened, and I can only think of one specific instance right now off the top of my head. But there are multiple. But the Ultron robots are trying to flee the city. They're flying off, and War Machine comes in and he starts shooting them, you know. And that's fine that he's like bragging because War Machine's in that way. Mm-hmm. Then Vision comes in and rips that robot in half, putting his arms through, ripping in half. It's like, oh, that's so cool. And then it cuts to him going, what? In the suit.
Yeah, no, seriously, what?
It's like, I don't think he said that, but...
Yeah, he says something to that effect, though.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like, just let it sit on a cool moment. And there are plenty of those.
I can agree with that.
Captain America, and now I'm thinking of another one. Captain America saves the woman off, like, after she gets chucked up on the bridge to Captain America, which would have killed her or whatever. And then Thor drops the car, and then you see the guy get out of the car, and like, ooh. They just can't sit on anything cool. They have to pull the rug from underneath you 1,000 times.
Yeah, and Captain America, he throws the robot off the ledge, and he's like, "Oh, what was that? Sorry, I didn't hear you. You didn't finish."
Yeah.
You know, as the robot was saying a line.
Yeah.
So, that's something I hadn't considered. Thank you for ruining all of Marvel movies.
Yeah, I did ruin. I'd have to...
A counterpoint is that's kind of a comic book thing. To an extent, but at the same time, comic books allow themselves to be cool. Mm-hmm. So...
I think it's a comic book thing if your character is Spider-Man. If your character is Iron Man.
That's fair, and that's something we need to address. Spider-Man's not in this movie. That's not what I wanted to address.
We need to address this, people.
He's a menace! Consistency of characters is something that was present in this movie. Well, consistency of main Avengers. Scarlet Witch and... Silver Sun pickups. Quicksilver. They kind of flip on a dime. Mm-hmm. But Thor is still playing the straight man that he did in Thor 1 and 2 and in Avengers. Mm-hmm. Captain America is still a straight man for the most part. Like, they're all playing their respective roles. Thor's not rolling around making goofs, and the Hulk is a complete rage monster.
Yeah.
You know, it's not Thor Ragnarok, which is something I really enjoy. It not being Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's very nice. It really shows that it's an action comedy. Mm-hmm. You know, it is comedy. There's plenty of, not that I was laughing through most of it, honestly, but it is humorous.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to take it off and be like, oh, I didn't think it was funny at all. It was funny, but it wasn't like laugh out loud funny most of the time.
For sure. But back to things we didn't like so we can get that out of the way and up front. The elephant in the room, probably Quicksilver.
Mm.
He's
just boring.
He's super boring.
But yeah.
And Scarlet Witch isn't much better, but a little better.
She's a little better. Yeah, at least her powers are interesting.
More interesting, and they do
since she's Jean Grey.
Yeah, she's Jean Grey in this, and they make the visual presentation of her powers a little more interesting than they do in the further Avengers. It's kind of weird because she's spooky.
Yeah, she does she comes up to them and backs up real fast.
Yeah, she does horror movie type movement.
Yeah, she's a horror movie character.
And she does, the wonky fingers, which she keeps consistent with, but I think it's a little more pronounced in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. She's way more interesting. She has more. As she goes on, she becomes less interesting with her powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her powers are more interesting. She comes kind of bland though in all the other movies, doesn't she?
No,
as a character though.
What I'm saying, in this movie, when she first shows up and she does the getting up real close to them, sneaking up on them and changing them.
Her powers are more interesting in this movie.
They're very interesting, but I'm saying by the end of this movie, she's just Iron Man without a suit.
Yeah, she's just shooting lasers and throwing people around anyway.
What can she do? I don't know. Just shoot
so
lasers.
That's the thing. The twins, they're inconsistent and mostly boring.
Mostly.
They're so upset that Tony Stark, his missile blew up their parents' house and killed everyone, and they stared at the missile for 2 days while they were in the rubble.
And they've been, I don't know how old they are in the movie.
Right. They're I don't know, mid-20s maybe.
Let's say they said they were 10 when it happened, so they've been on this for 15 years protesting.
Yeah. This has been
actively
majority of their life is they've hated Tony Stark.
Right.
They disagree with the Avengers. They're looking to dismantle them.
Right.
And as soon as they see a nuke going off, which I can understand them not wanting to work with Ultron anymore, but to immediately go to the Avengers and be like, hey, we're sorry. We agree with everything that you do and everything that you are. And maybe Tony Stark's not that bad of a guy.
Yeah, it's not the enemy of my enemy is my friend anymore. It's just we're friends.
Yeah, we're buddies. We're friends. We're pals.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, so they turn, I don't know, a little past halfway in the movie. They're good guys again.
Yeah.
Or they're good guys
once
now.
Once Vision shows up.
Yeah, once Vision shows up, they're good guys. And because of that, we're supposed to care when 20 minutes later, Quicksilver dies.
Yeah, even
for
though
no reason.
They've set him up very, very little in that time, even as a good guy.
Yeah.
They're just. The only thing I can see it as is it being we have to pretend. I want to see it in the way that the director, that Joss Whedon, didn't want us to care about Quicksilver's death, but wanted us to care about Hawkeye's reaction to it, which is interesting because that is what forces him to retire, basically.
Yes.
That shows him that he's going to retire, and if it's coming from that perspective, if that was the intent, then I feel that that's better. But if you were really trying to make us feel for Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch even, then it didn't hit the mark, for sure.
Right. And I can agree with that. That's something I hadn't even considered. Maybe that was the focus was more. I'm struggling with the hero names. Quick Arrow, Hawkeye,
Quickman.
Perhaps the focus was more on Hawkeye, but they don't make that clear enough. If that's the case.
If that's the case, they don't make it clear.
Because once they show him lying down next to the corpse of Quicksilver, he's just like, "It's been a long day."
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm giving them more than what they gave us, but it just potentially, if that was what he's going for, then I can see it a little more. But
right.
Yeah.
So they build it up. They show you Hawkeye's home life and everything that he's got going for him. He's such a good guy all around, and they make it feel like he's the one who's going to die when it comes to that scene. And then they take it away and they kill Quicksilver, and it means absolutely nothing to anyone.
Right. Yeah. So another problem that I have is sort of the I don't know how else to put this without sounding like I'm 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But the, like, wussification of Black Widow.
Okay.
Where, one, I don't get her and Banner out of nowhere. They do not set that up well.
No.
At all. It's so out of nowhere. And they just
because it wasn't in the first
care.
Avengers,
No,
was
not
it?
at all. And then in Winter Soldier, I mean, yeah.
Right.
There's nothing. She's like, basically, you think that she's flirting with Captain America.
Right.
For the whole thing. And then she's just suddenly with Banner. So at first, at the beginning of the movie, even though I know the end of it, it kind of seems like, oh, she's just using Banner for something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to some end, maybe. You know, she has her own way, which would be cool and would make her unique. But no, she's just, for some reason, in love with him. Right. I think, like, the only time in the first Avengers is that whole scene where she's scared and she's running from him. Yeah. And, like, and I can't exactly remember, there might be a little more downtime with him, but, like,
yeah,
it's
not
really
enough.
No. It's not enough. What they're telling you is within this time, they've built up more of a relationship.
Right, off screen. Yeah.
Right, and she can calm him down, but it just, like, that kiss at the end before she kicks him off, it doesn't feel earned at all. Yeah. It's not a good part. It's not a good romance arc at all.
Maybe if they had built it up over a few movies, it'd be more interesting, but as it is, it felt like kind of a forced arc.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, because the couple that you do see in that movie that you really feel is Hawkeye and his wife. Yeah. And you feel that connection with him and his family, and that's all really good.
Yeah, and that happens instantly. Because you didn't know they existed until right then. And it was like, hey, that makes sense.
But it makes sense, yeah. And just like that all clicks together, and they really feel, connected.
Yeah, Clint feels like a family man.
Yeah, it's just like, you're caught off guard, but okay, you can see this. You can tell that they love each other. They've got all this built up, right?
And I even appreciate Natasha being part of that family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That makes it even feel more well-rounded, and like it's really part of the universe.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, the Banner and Black Widow thing, that it doesn't really go together. Yeah. Super well. It doesn't feel like it's all glued together. And she's all like, good luck, and, have a nice day. I'm sure. I don't remember exactly the lines that she said.
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah. But, she's very not direct. She's very caring. Mm-hmm. She's not very spy-like. Yeah. It would be like if you took Nick Fury and suddenly he wasn't, hard and strict and things, and
he's wearing like a sweater vest.
He's just like, he's hugging Captain America. Yeah. I love you. I know you always try your best.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, no, she's a hardened spy. At least give her more time to get over it. If you're going to put her in that direction, at least make it look like there was an effort for her to try to get rid of her spy ways, but it didn't really seem that way in the movie. Yeah. She has the whole dream thing, and she's like, the spy thing was bad to me, and now I'm over it.
Speaking of the dream things, they were good in the sense that you got to see each character's, like, how they reacted and what was haunting them and that kind of thing, but they were kind of inconsistent. Natasha's was of her memories of bad stuff that happened at, what did she call it, the red something?
The red
room?
The
painted
red room,
black.
I think.
I don't know. Yeah. The red room, something like that. And it showed her memories, very specifically. Captain America, it showed his desires, like post-war hanging out with Agent...
I don't remember.
They made a show about it. We'll call her Scully. X-Files. Scully was the woman, wasn't it? I don't know. We're calling her Scully. His memories post-war, hanging out with Scully at a dance hall. It's a good time.
It was Bones from Bones.
Yeah, It was Castle. It was Frank Castle. He was with...
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Punisher Season 2.
All right, we'll get to that. Let me finish this thought. He was with Frank Castle in his desired past that never got to happen. And then Thor was in... Betty White. Thor was in some kind of trippy Asgard orgy. And Heimdall was there. But it was also a vision of the future somehow.
Maybe.
Which was not really well explained.
Yeah, you couldn't tell. Well, here's the thing. In this movie, they don't mention it. But Scarlet Witch is supposed to be a reality warper.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. I mean, she was mostly like controlling luck.
Right.
Which is different, but...
Yeah, in the comics, isn't Scarlet Witch like God tier mutant?
Yeah, she's insanely strong. I just, like, I think most of the time they used her as a kind of a Swiss Army knife of, they didn't define her powers and she could just do whatever the situation needed. But in this one, she's Jean Grey, but also can actually predict reality with the mind. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%
I don't
sure.
know.
It's because she's part of the Mind Stone, though.
Yeah, the Mind Stone gave her powers because she's not a mutant in this.
Yeah, so does the Mind Stone know the future? It's not very clear, is the thing. So, yeah, the dreams are a little weird, but they honestly... I mean... They make everybody mopey for a little while and not like each other.
Yeah, they go mopey, and Thor goes on a spirit journey.
But that's the plot of the first Avengers, where Loki's goal is to split them up. And so it's...
But that's kind of a consistent theme in up until, Avengers Infinity War. That's kind of a theme, is they're always butting heads in Civil War and Avengers in this one because of all the things that are going down. Loki's trying to split them up. Tony Stark splits them up. Then he splits them up again because Tony is just a piece of crap whose morals are all over the place and inconsistent, and he's just a jerk, and screw him, Team Cap.
Yeah. Baron Zemo tries to split them up.
Yeah, Baron Zemo tries to split them up.
Yeah, so they, it's often a theme of the Avengers, and the whole thing is that they're stronger if they're together, but they're all different from each other.
Right.
But, yeah. I don't know. How do we like the addition of Vision? How do you like him?
I think he's a good character. I'm not sure if he's used to his full potential. He just, in this movie particularly, he just shows up. They exchange a few lines, and then he just goes around punching and shooting lasers at stuff, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, he doesn't have much of a character. But I think that's mostly okay. I don't really see Vision as that exciting of a character that I really need. Yeah, I don't think he's a lead. I don't think he's a lead in any way, but I think he's cool. I think it's cool that he's the Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I was pretty neutral about him. I think he's cool, but didn't really impact many things post him being inhabited by Jarvis, because that was the whole plot of him. We need to get this body away from Ultron. They succeeded. Now he doesn't really matter so much. Yeah, except they kind of imply that he's the only one who can beat Ultron. He's the reason they are able to win. Yeah, they shut him out of the internet. Yeah, they shut him out of the internet. And that's the whole thing. And now he's able to be shut down. Now they're just bodies. Right. To kind of attack. Yeah. So he was... he was essential to them winning. But I wonder if they kind of backed themselves into a corner, or how far they had thought that through when the whole Vision thing happened. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Because it just... they weren't going to beat him otherwise, I guess. If they didn't have Vision and Jarvis and all the techno babble things of him getting in the mind
and him being stronger than the Mind Stone, or is Ultron different than the Mind Stone?
I don't know.
Or I don't know. It's a little confusing.
Also, on the subject of the Mind Stone, I think they do a good job of making Vision really strong.
Oh, yeah.
He could probably be stronger.
Oh, definitely. But
I mean, he has an Infinity Stone in his forehead.
Yeah, that's pretty much every character, though. They're very, very watered down.
Yeah, they're all watered down, and once we get to the Infinity War movie, I'm just going to be ragging on the fact that everyone's just a little wuss.
Yeah, everyone's just so weak. But
it's so upsetting. But that's next movie.
You're thinking that horde of the horde of Ultron bots, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Black Widow or Hawkeye can hold their own against them, then Thor or the Hulk could take on the entire...
Yeah, the Hulk could solo everyone there.
Yeah.
And Thor could easily as well.
Right. And I do like for a while they have Thor tied up fighting Ultron, which makes sense.
Right.
It's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Ultron has vibranium in his suit, or in his exoskeleton, whatever. So it makes sense that he can hold his own against Thor.
Yeah, he's very, very powerful.
I can let that one go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, so, and that makes sense why Thor's not around to kill the other things.
Right.
And Tony is
he's helping with like evacuation stuff.
Yeah,
for the most part.
So I mean, part of it does make sense.
And they just kind of let the Hulk go off and do his own thing.
Yeah, he does do. They try to do a similar bit that they do in the first Avengers, where Ultron's doing his spiel and then Hulk punches him into the sky. Yeah. And then, but that's not the end of the fight. Ultron comes back for some reason. I guess. Oh, he has to kill Quicksilver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But I was thinking a little different part here is that opening fight scene, which is very good.
Yes.
And I like a lot.
Okay, are we moving on to good things?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm sure we'll hit things as we remember them.
That's fair.
But at the very beginning, it was, the graphics were a little they were a little video gamey.
It did feel like a video game cutscene. That was my thought.
That was my exact thought, that it was a video game cutscene. That's not a bad thing, I don't think. I don't really need it to be hyper realistic.
Yeah, it still looked really good.
It looks incredible. But man, there were some very cool things in that. I love Cap on the bike so much.
That's really good.
It's really cool. And when he takes the bike and flips over and throws it, that's amazing.
One thing I noticed about this movie is Thor does a lot more kicks than you'd expect.
Does he?
He does. He kicks a lot.
Well, that's the thing. I was kind of thinking about that of, like, why did they risk the lives of anyone? Why didn't they just send Thor in there to handle this by himself? It's just a bunch of humans.
Yeah, they can't hurt him.
Yeah, they can't. They literally couldn't hurt him.
Realistically, I say. We're talking about comics, but realistically, they couldn't hurt Thor.
Should have been Thor. And, like, maybe he needed something to take down the barrier. Like,
and that's what you have Hulk for.
Yeah. I was saying, like, Iron Man could go and take down the barrier, and Thor could handle everyone else by himself. Yeah. Without throwing a single punch.
Yeah.
He could go in there, get the scepter, and be fine.
They didn't all need to be there. It was really cool, but they definitely didn't
It was incredibly cool. It was awesome. I'm glad it was in there.
Yeah.
I was just thinking kind of funny in that way of just like, no. No. Because that scene... I mean, there are plenty of great Thor scenes to draw from. But in Ragnarok, at the beginning of that, where he's in that hell dimension and he's fighting all those demons by himself, and he's totally fine.
Yeah, he's fighting a demon king who he
can
takes out.
Destroy Asgard.
Yeah, he takes him out pretty much instantly. He's fighting an entire horde on his planet made of demons, and then a giant dragon comes after him, and he's fine.
Yeah.
He's just fine.
It's great, yeah. So, like, I think a covert ops mission
against some humans with lasers.
Yeah, I think Thor could probably take it on his own. Maybe he gets messed up when he goes to fight Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I do think it was weird that Quicksilver got tired pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was really
several times.
He got winded a lot.
Yeah, he got winded.
Surprisingly.
I was like, huh.
Scarlet
Witch never got winded.
I had to run, which
Never
is
once.
my whole thing.
Yeah. It's like, I saved 3 people from that train that was flying. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. That's silly. But
basically, as iffy as the X-Men movies are, they do Quicksilver really well.
They do Quicksilver
Like,
almost better than
so,
any other character.
So good.
They do him, and he's funny, he's talky, and he's incredibly good.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And his
that's
powers are
Quicksilver.
way cooler.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, it's a good thing they killed him off because he couldn't keep up with that other Quicksilver, which doesn't matter now since Disney does own
Everything. They own you, they own me, you guys at home. Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the first scene and the whole thing with, what's his name? I want to call him Strucker.
Baron von Strucker.
Strucker.
I was thinking, it took me a while to remember what his name was. It was Strucker, basically. But I kept thinking they were saying Stryker. Like, Stryker would make sense in the X-Men.
Yeah,
because Stryker does experiments on mutants. Yeah. And those two are mutants, canonically.
Yeah.
But it's not Stryker. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, it's Strucker. Von Strucker, I think.
Yeah,
something.
So that was confusing me for a bit.
Yeah, just for a moment. But yeah, that whole thing and showing that they have the mutants there and they have the scepter, which neither one of us can remember why they didn't have the scepter anymore.
Yeah, we don't remember where the scepter went.
We don't remember that. I guess it's possible that during the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, it's been so long since I've seen Winter Soldier, but during the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, they got the scepter. I don't know, but they were needing to get it. I'm pretty sure Thor could have walked in there by himself, though. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Easily.
So do we want to go over each character to see how they've improved from the wow. What is the other? What's the antonym to improve?
Well, you think of that. I need to turn the heat down because the inside of my knees are sweating.
All I can think about is that the opposite of improved is disimprove, and I do not think that is correct.
I don't think we need to go through every character, but we can address the ones that have really changed. Because which ones really saw any change from Avengers to this one?
Okay.
Well, I suppose there are a couple movies in between.
Yeah, in between this, as far as that are affecting this, is Captain America Winter Soldier, Iron Man 3, and that's it?
When was Thor 2?
Oh, yeah, Thor has movies. Thor 2
Yeah.
would be in between.
So probably those 3.
Yeah.
Thor 2 didn't matter.
Is Thor 2 before? It's gotta be before Avengers 2. Maybe, no.
Because they talk about Jane, and she played a big role in Thor 2.
She did.
And they talk about her not showing up in Avengers 2.
Did Iron Man 3 happen? Yeah, it had to have.
Pepper was a big part of Iron Man 3, and she doesn't show up in Avengers 2. And they bring that up as well. I don't remember. But we're just going to pretend for now that those 3 take place in between.
Okay. Or that's what we're going to pretend. I also think Ant-Man happens at some point. But that's not
no. Ant-Man is after.
Okay.
Because he goes to the Avengers facility.
Oh, yeah, he does. You're right. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Who has improved or how they changed?
Okay.
I still never thought of the antonym to improve.
I don't think Thor changed, which is okay. Which is good. Because nothing happened of importance in Thor 2.
Yeah, and Dark World. Nothing big.
Nothing that they reference at all.
Yeah, because he does the whole thing with Loki.
Yeah.
And basically, all that happens is that Loki becomes Odin. And you find out
and
where
Thor,
one of the stones are.
Yeah.
I think, in that movie.
You find out an Infinity Stone. Loki pretends to be dead. But Thor doesn't mention any of this in Avengers 2, so it doesn't matter in Avengers 2.
It doesn't matter. So Thor's pretty much the same.
Thor's the same. Captain America.
From Winter Soldier,
for all intents and purposes, he's pretty much the same.
He's pretty much the same. The only one who's really changed is Iron Man.
Yes.
Because he has the whole PTSD thing from the first Avengers and Iron Man 3, and he gets rid of all of his suits, and then all of his suits are... Wait, is Iron Man 3 before the first Avengers? I don't remember.
Who knows?
I don't remember. It's not important. The point is, no, Iron Man 3 has to be after, because it's about the PTSD.
Yes.
So, yeah, what changes for him is that he's basically just becomes more and more unreasonable. He thinks that his strength... The only thing he learns in the third one is that it's cool to be... His strength is not Iron Man. His strength is in being Tony Stark.
Right.
And that really doesn't come up in this movie at all.
No, it doesn't. Aside from the fact that Tony Stark is very headstrong, and when he makes a decision and does not consult other people, and it is the way things have to be.
Right.
Which is the crux of why Ultron came into being.
Right, yeah. Him and Banner just do it in secret.
Yeah, they do.
For some reason. I don't know. I feel like Iron Man should have grown a little more in that way.
Yeah, you think after 3 movies he'd be a little
that
more willing.
And the Avengers one, but he would just like, well, what would your plan have been if I hadn't have put the nuke in the ship? What would you have done? Yeah. And it's like, be together. It's like, you guys already learned that lesson.
That is a terrible, terrible excuse, Tony.
Yeah.
Because you stopped a nuke from hitting New York, you can make a murder bot?
Yeah.
Like a world police robot?
Yeah, world police. Yeah. He was going for world peace.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Also, Thor could have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, easily.
So again, no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Thor could have flown up into the ship in space, killed the thing, and then eventually
Hulk could have
back.
Eaten the nuke.
Yeah, yeah.
There were a few ways that could have been solved. You just happened to be writing it.
Not even the whole nuke thing. Just how to stop the Chitauri in general. Hulk or Thor could have. Maybe not in this universe. I don't know. Right. But yeah, I feel like they could have stopped it. So it's not that big of a deal.
I think we should hit some bright shining spots that stuck out to us in this movie.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. Mine is... I really like the downtime. Like when they're having a party and being, casual. Yeah. I think it's really fun to see them just hanging out and enjoying each other's company and, being people outside of the heroes that they are. Yeah. I don't think you really see any of that in Infinity War because it's so high stakes and so go and there's so many characters to cover. Like they lose some of that humanity and some of that, just like they're people too kind of feel. Mm-hmm. They touch on that a little bit in Avengers, do they? The first one?
I don't remember any big scenes of them like actually hanging out together because they still barely knew each other at this point.
Then it probably just this movie then that they really hit that is I think it's kind of fun to just see them hanging out, and they do a little bit more of just talking to each other and being with each other when they go to Clint's house. Mm-hmm. And they're just there. And they're a little mopey. Things went pretty poorly. And then Nick Fury shows up and he's like, I'm here to guide you and put you back in. Right. Like something Nick Fury would do. So I thought those albeit pretty quick scenes were a good way to ground the characters and give them a little more motivation.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that they're friends and there's some real camaraderie there. Mm-hmm. It's, they're not just fighting alongside each other. They click, which they, in the first scene of the movie, I feel like they actually established pretty well. Right. Even before they do the whole party thing, they click, which is why it's a little more like why would Tony betray them suddenly? But that's, yeah, I think I like that. They spend a lot of time on that. Man, the fights in general are so good. Not just in how they look, but in what the characters decide to do in the things, and all of their actions and the way they use their powers. Anytime Captain America is chucking his shield, it's always good. It's
always awesome.
It's amazing. They keep themselves pretty realistic and grounded on who can fight whom and who can do what. I like when Hawkeye is able to shock Scarlet Witch while she's sneaking up on him. I really like that. Really he's on high alert, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be deaf in the comics, but he's on high alert.
Yeah, he's deaf in the comics.
yeah. They don't bring it up, but he's watching out, and it makes sense that he would be aware and be able, if someone was sneaking up on him. Of course, a sniper would know if someone was about to sneak up on him. Yeah. So, like,
it's really good.
I thought that was very good, and that gave them one extra person to kind of handle all the other people freaking out. I really enjoyed Thor in this movie. He can't be a fish out of water forever, exactly. Right. But
he definitely seemed more comfortable than he did in Avengers.
Right. He felt more comfortable, but still, he's been who knows how many hundreds of years old he is. It never. I don't think it ever says. No. But he's, still adjusting to this life. But he does the thing, and he gives the report on the Hulk and says the gates of hell are full. Your victim screams, and that's hilarious because he thinks that's a good thing, but then realizes
you killed countless people. Congratulations.
Amazing, well done. That Scarlet Witch comes to control his mind, and he says, "Be careful, it's very strong. Not everyone is mighty. You humans won't be able to last as long." And then just as he's walking, is suddenly in a dream. It's like,
he's very arrogant and otherworldly a little.
Yeah, he's very. I said arrogant when I was watching it. I don't know if it was arrogance or just he's very confident in his powers.
Yeah, I like that better.
He's very, very confident in his powers. I would say Loki's more arrogant, but he's...
Yeah, arrogance was more of the idea in Thor, his movie. Yeah. Confidence is what was bred from that.
Right, yeah. And so he's like, yes, I know I'm fine. I'm sure I've encountered worse than whatever a human could do to me. But yeah, that's... I really, really like that. He's very good. And the last kind of scene, one of the last scenes there where Cap and Iron Man are talking to him about, what makes Vision worthy. Is it because he's an AI, or is it because he's actually worthy and things? And Thor is, kind of humoring them, laughing along, but not participating in the jokes. And he's like, whatever. You guys have your thoughts, but,
he's not making goofs.
Yeah, he's not cracking a joke along with them. But it makes sense for both Iron Man and Captain America to be doing that in the moment, But, yeah, Thor is not that way, It just,
Yeah, and on the subject of Thor and fights, something I noticed is they do combos again, like they did in the first Avengers.
They're amazing.
Captain America, in the first scene, the big fight scene in the beginning with the trucks and everything, they make the comment like, no, they're just lining up for us now. And Cap pulls out his shield, and Thor hits it with the hammer like they did in the first movie, and this create this huge shockwave that takes them all out.
It's very cool.
And at one time, Thor batters up and just smacks the shield through a bunch of robots, and it's great.
It's amazing.
It's really fun.
I like that. There's a moment when Hawkeye throws the shield to Captain America, and Captain America immediately turns that around and throws it. Very, very good. Pretty much every action sequence I was on
the
board
action,
with.
choreography, visual effects, all really, really good. Really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. It's really, really good. If you want just be looking at the sheer destruction of everything. I mean, take one scene out of the movie, just the doesn't involve all the characters, and there's probably the most destruction out of anything. I mean, besides when they blow up the whole city thing.
Right.
Besides that, when Iron Man and the Hulkbuster has to stop the Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's just those two. There's not even a bad guy there.
Yeah.
It's just they have to fight the Hulk. He has to
one long fight scene.
He has to contain the Hulk and get him, and he crushes him through that building.
And that still doesn't take him out.
Take him out. He's gonna punch him one more time. It's a little silly, but
which is a little silly.
But it's okay.
But I'll accept that because that fight scene is really good.
It's so good.
Like it just shows like they have all these contingency plans and all these things to try and stop the Hulk.
Right.
But none of it really works.
Yeah.
Because the Hulk is unstoppable.
Yeah. Yep. So I really like that. I wish Nick Fury would have been a little longer.
Yeah.
I wish, but I guess, I mean, I understand with the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, and him showing up in it at all is good. It really makes me miss him from the third one, but yeah, it's good. So something else I was thinking about was at the very beginning of the movie until I don't know if I just didn't notice it anymore, or once Ultron shows up, it really does. But at the very beginning of the movie, it's so quick. It's incredibly quick. It's cutting here. You are going from you do the first action scene, then you cut like to immediately Stark and Banner are working on they see the brain thing. It's like, well, how long has Tony Stark been working on this? Is it a day? Is it 2 days?
They go into a montage.
Is it 3 days? You know, like, and then he does his thing, and like, in 3 days I'll see ya, and then like Ultron's started already, and like it's just very, 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 very quick, jumping from thing to thing to thing, just immediately. I don't know if that's positive or negative. I just noticed that it was very, very fast,
right,
at the beginning of the movie, and I did feel like about the time that they're fighting Ultron on the highway when he's in the truck, that whole scene, the movie really starts to slow down and spread out.
Right.
It's just like, and it's just going and going and going. I was like, how far into this movie are we? I had that thought, which is not a good thought usually to have with the movie. I was like, oh, we've got to be close to being done once the whole, like, the truck thing was happening. I was like, no. There's the whole thing with him lifting the city.
Yeah.
And there's...
Vision hasn't even been born yet.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, that... We've got a lot of the movie left to go.
Yeah, I think up to that point there are a lot of cuts and jumps. And once you get to that point, it's like, all right, now everything from here on out is in time.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's what... I feel like that loosened the tension of it all, because it just takes a really long time. It's very drawn out. So
if you were to truncate it, what would you cut out?
Well, I don't know. There's that's an interesting question. I think maybe just lessen some of the fighting of the endless robots. Maybe make it a little quicker to get to the clear defined goal of protecting the center of the church. Because I like it once you have, the defined plan. They're all there. I mean, I liked some of the fighting throughout before all that, but it feels like it takes a while to get to that.
I agree.
Because there's a long time that Ultron is fighting Thor by himself.
Yeah, the evacuation's a little drawn out.
Yeah, it does. And so maybe cut down on some of that. Cut down on some of the, reaction of the people escaping and things. Because, I don't know, I just feel like that doesn't add so much. Because they end up saving everybody.
Right.
If they weren't able to save everybody, it would make more sense to kind of dwell on how many people are actually there. But since they save everybody...
But since everybody but Quicksilver gets out...
Yeah, it's just like...
It doesn't really matter so much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that much. It just... It builds up the tension of will they save him or not, and then it's like, oh, they're all saved. Never mind, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So maybe cut out some of that.
Cool. So, where does this fall in the Stan Lee cameo?
Stan Lee cameo was very, very good.
I thought this one was very good as well.
It's a good one. Where's my phone? I just had it. I would say, I think, I suggested to Liam earlier, maybe a week ago, that maybe we change it to ranking where exactly it is amongst the rest of the movies, and is it better than the Amazing Spider-Man's library scene?
Which I think we can say no.
No, but it is very, very good. It's
good.
very, very close to the top, I would say. If we do want to rank it,
it'd probably come in second. I don't remember what the other ones were.
let me look at them. Deadpool's next.
Yeah, it
so
comes
better
in second.
It's way better than Deadpool. And way better than Blade when he's in blackface. Because that's just... that's so uncomfortable.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, also... Stan Lee died. We haven't talked about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we predicted Stan Lee's death.
We did.
In our Spider-Man...
It was mostly me.
Spider-Man 3 review.
We did.
Rest in peace, of course.
Yeah, he... Yep. So, I don't know how many more cameos he made.
I'm pretty sure it was just Into the Spider-Verse and Endgame. I think those were the last two.
Okay. So, we now have a finite amount of Stan Lee cameos.
There's a finite amount of Stan Lee cameos.
There's only a few more chances for...
He might have gotten one in Captain Marvel.
Probably
got one in Captain Marvel.
Probably. I could see it potentially in the Spider-Man one, too.
Yes, potentially in Far From Home. But
so
past Far From Home, Endgame, and Captain Marvel, I don't think we're going to get any more.
I don't think so. So he's only got a few more chances to beat Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. So he needs to pick up his game.
Yeah, he needs to have picked
up his game
by then. If not, then I mean, really, was it worth it? Did you really spend your life how you could have, Stan Lee?
Yeah, you only made this incredible universe that we've all been enjoying since we were born.
Right, yeah, but really, you're gonna let your best performance be in The Amazing Spider-Man, where Andrew Garfield is played by a dolphin?
Yeah.
Who made that?
Odd choice, Stan Lee. I know Spider-Man was your baby and the thing you cared the most about, but still.
Come on, really?
Come on.
All right. Well, maybe better luck next time, champ.
At least we know one thing.
Yeah.
Stan Lee was not a racist. But was this movie racist?
He did wear blackface.
He did wear blackface.
In
Blade. But that was more of a producer-director thing. He was uncomfortable with the whole idea.
Right, yeah. Even though I believe in our canon, he just walked on the set with him with it. And they couldn't say no to him. And so they had the CGI Wesley Snipes over the top of him. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Was this movie
racist?
Racist. Well, Liam, look no further than Falcon, who's barely in the movie. A War Machine who gets tossed around by Ultron.
Does War Machine get tossed around?
Yeah. Well, he's not in the suit, but when Ultron first shows up at the party...
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Which I actually really like. We didn't talk about that scene. I really like that, where he just interrupts all the having fun and just, starts giving that crazy monologue.
While he's, dripping and tangling wires and stuff.
That's terrifying and amazing. You're like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, if Ultron could have kept that same kind of tension and, what is this? Throughout the entire movie, it would have been incredible.
I'm a little sad there are too many good things for us to talk about, because I've got a million more, I feel like, things, but of good scenes.
Yeah, if we went through the movie like we used to from beginning to end, there's a lot of really good stuff.
There
it's
really
not
is.
nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's very, very good. There's a lot of good shots, a lot of good things, a lot of great moments. But that's not what we're asking.
Yes.
We're asking,
is this
it
movie racist?
Is it racist?
I don't think so.
Why not? Give me a reason.
All right, War Machine.
Uh-huh.
He gets some screen time. You see him doing one-liners. You see him taking out robots by himself. He's doing work. He's being part of the team.
Okay.
He's being helpful.
Is it him getting the correct representation, or is this tokenism?
No, because he's not the only black man.
Okay. Oh, because if he has black friends, then it's okay.
Then it's okay. Falcon, he matters a lot less than War Machine. But he shows up at the very end when Captain says, this is the future of the Avengers. So, the future of the Avengers has a black man.
It does have
which
a black
has
man in it.
So many implications for a word that is just not... I have no end to the sentence.
You started off good.
I know I did.
You started off good. It was strong.
So many implications for representation of different peoples.
Yeah.
Nick Fury shows up.
That's true.
Brings the team back together and throws them back out there.
Nick Fury's one of the best. And the bad guy, none of the bad guys are of a different race than white. So that's good. That checks out.
That's good.
And only most of the heroes are white. So we're good.
Right.
It's good.
I mean, let's see. Ulysses, Andy Serkis, he's a white man, and he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes it okay. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So that's not racist.
And Ultron, he sounds like a white man.
He does. He sounds specifically like the white man who played him.
Yeah.
In fact.
David Spade.
David Spade.
I think this movie is not racist.
All right. Well, just maybe to be a little contrarian, I think it is.
Oh.
Don't let your kids watch it.
Please tell me why.
There are not enough black people. Black Panther's not even in it.
But they mention Wakanda.
Yeah, they mention it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
they don't show it.
All right. I hear you.
Show, not tell.
There are more black people in this movie than the Avengers.
Are there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, so there you go. There's your answer, folks. All right, so next is the bit that we all love. The one that you probably skipped the first hour for.
Yeah, there weren't as many goofs in this one. We didn't talk about TMNT nearly enough.
I know, we didn't get sidetracked. All I wanted to talk about was Punisher Season 2, but I didn't. In fact, that was my plan before we ever started this movie.
Yeah, well, you never interrupted me.
Here's the problem, Liam, is that I was going to be like, Age of Ultron's not very good. I won't have much to talk about. I'll just talk about Punisher Season 2.
Yeah, that was the plan before we watched it.
Before we watched it, but I ended up really, really liking it. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Up there with the best ones we've watched so far.
Not all the way up there.
No, I didn't say it surpassed it.
Right.
I'm saying it's up there.
I agree. It is up there.
It is up there.
Joss Whedon is a great director.
He is.
Great writer. Bring back Firefly, please.
Okay, so now we have to... I'll try to remind you of remind everyone at home the recasting decisions we did in the Avengers. Okay. Alright, so you're going to have to give me a character, and then I'll give you who we recasted last time.
Thor.
Off
to a great start. All right.
No, I remember. It was, depending on the scene and movie, Elijah Wood and Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
The reason we did that is because he was the exact opposite of Carl Weathers, who we put as Loki, who's not in this.
Who's not in this movie, unfortunately. So, in this one, who was it? Was it Elijah Wood?
Well, sometimes it was Daniel Radcliffe. Sometimes it was Elijah Wood. I think Elijah Wood would
predominantly.
Have more, I would say it was more Elijah Wood in this one than it was. I think that Elijah Wood does all the action scenes, and then all, and then all the like normal Non-action scenes, that's Daniel Radcliffe.
See,
in my heart.
I put him the opposite.
That's what you would expect.
See, but
Joss Whedon
that's what I
is
want. Because Elijah Wood has that beautiful baby face.
Right, yeah.
That I just love to look at. And you don't get to see that face as much during action scenes.
Oh, yeah, you do. Because they're all close-ups.
But they're more CGI in the action scenes.
No. He's not, like, wearing his full costume. Anytime you ever see him, it's just his face.
Okay.
Like a real close-up on his face.
So,
you see, like, lightning around him. But,
yeah,
I mean,
you don't
it's
see
just...
any action. You just see Elijah Wood staring deadpan at the camera. Maybe that little bit of a smirk he has in Spy Kids 3.
Right, yeah. Just that particular brand of Elijah Wood smirk. Yeah. That.
All right, cool.
Anytime. You never see him ever as a wide shot.
Yeah.
Always a close-up.
That's good. I like
Kind of
that.
like when you see Iron Man in the mask. Mm-hmm. It's basically that for Elijah Wood.
Iron Man in the Mask. I'm pretty sure that's a book. And let's see. DiCaprio plays him, I'm pretty sure, in the book. Alright, Captain America.
It's amazing they got him for it.
Captain America.
He's a treasure. Captain America, dang it, who was that played by? Probably another beefy man.
Probably, I hope so.
I'm trying to think. I remember. It was not a beefy man. Captain America, if you remember, was played by Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And the only difference between the costume from the Avengers to this new recasting of the Avengers is that we take the star and we move it onto his left pec because he's reprising his role as Woody from Toy Story.
Yes.
And he's got a big Andy on his foot.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so that's Tom Hanks.
The Hulk we know is Tim Allen.
Well, it's Mark Ruffalo. But it's voiced by the voice actor for Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
And when he's the Hulk, he becomes a series of Tim Allen grunts.
Yes. So
it's
Bruce Banner is not recasted. He's just dubbed by Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And the Hulk is dubbed
right
by Tim Allen grunts from Home Improvement.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a really good one. Black Widow. Who was she?
I'm pretty sure she was a man when I recast it.
Probably.
I don't remember.
All right, that bit's dead. Who's Clint?
Clint was Lou Ferrigno dressed in his Hulk paint.
That one's really good too.
That one's very good. I really want to see. No. I want to see that scene where he's with his wife and having the whole conversation. He's like hugging his kids and stuff, and he's. Oh man, I really wish I could remember who Black Widow was.
All right, well that's enough.
It is.
Take all those characters, recast them as we've said, put that picture in your mind, and now we're going to add a few more to that list. Who, Evan, do you think Scarlet Witch should be recasted for?
Scarlet Witch.
Who should replace the Olsen?
What was her name? Honey Boo Boo? I think that she would
be...
Like
the child?
Yeah, the child.
Uh-huh.
As a child, if that's possible.
See, I was thinking the Olsen twins.
Both of them, at the same time on the screen?
Wearing the same clothes.
One...
both in one shirt.
Okay. Both in one shirt.
Uh-huh.
What does the shirt say across it?
This is our makeup shirt. I don't know. I basically meant her costume,
for some reason,
I like the idea of a single shirt. Like one really long shirt.
Not really long? Wait,
no,
so
they're just wearing a shirt. That is it.
Like they're stacked on top of each other?
No, they're both...
They're in one really long shirt.
I was thinking like extra large and both their heads are sticking out the neck.
I was at first till you said really long. So like one of them's on the other one's shoulders, and they're just wearing one shirt that's really long down to the feet. And there's not the other shirt. It's like a plain white shirt, but there are eye holes cut out for the one on the bottom so that she can see.
Yeah, and another really set of sleeves towards the bottom.
Why?
So she has full use of her arms.
Wouldn't she be holding?
They're very talented. Or she is. She just likes her arms to breathe.
Okay. I think that would be really good. And then who do we want as Vision? And remember, whoever we put as Vision is going to be the love interest
Mm.
to this Olsen.
To the Olsen twins
this
stacked
Olsen
on top of each
giant.
other in one really long shirt.
Oh man. Can I say, do you think, I mean, just how much presence, how much authenticity do you think that Danny DeVito would add to that role of Vision? I mean, just like, it's...
Paint the picture for me.
Okay. You know what Danny DeVito looks like?
Yes.
Picture him...
A goblin.
But put just a yellow gem in his forehead. Just like glued on there.
Uh-huh.
And like he's just getting very sweaty.
I really like that, but I can't help but to imagine his portrayal of Penguin from Batman Returns. And that's what I'm envisioning, but with the gem stuck to his forehead.
I feel like, okay, what if he's naked, but he's wearing the cape? And he's got the gem. But he's wearing the cape, like, on the front of his body.
Okay. How about it's wrapped around him like a toga?
Okay. I like that.
And
that.
he's doing his voice for the guy, the satyr from Hercules.
Okay.
Which is just his voice.
Yeah,
he's just doing Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he's doing a maybe more exaggerated Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so who do we want to see run fast? Who do we think is the fast boy? And remember, you don't have to cast him in any future movies because he dies in this one.
Right. The first thing that comes to my mind is the new hyper-realistic Sonic the Hedgehog from the upcoming movie.
Just like...
But that's a little on the nose.
Okay, yes.
That's where my mind went. I just wanted
Right,
to,
okay.
I just wanted to get that out there. Have we casted Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No, we have not.
I'm thinking Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay, does he still have his luscious locks and his sunglasses?
Of course.
Okay. Does he still bounty hunt?
Yeah.
Like it's part of his contract.
Well, yeah. I mean, he became Quicksilver. He took on the mantle.
Okay, so like in universe, he was already...
Yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter is canon.
Okay, gotcha.
He took on the mantle of Quicksilver when he entered the presence of the Mind Stone.
Right.
And he's using these newfound quick powers to wrangle boys.
Yeah, to wrangle criminals in the Hawaii area.
Yes.
I believe Honolulu. I like that. Can we get him in a more traditional Hawaiian shirt?
Ooh, okay. Is he wearing a lei as well?
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
At least one.
Can he also be wearing a...
And he constantly keeps saying, I got off the island for this. I don't know how Dog and Bounty Hunter sounds.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it's not like that.
Can he also be wearing a duster over all his Hawaiian gear and sandals?
I feel like he's wearing the duster underneath all the Hawaiian gear.
Ooh,
like
okay.
And yes, the duster does go down to his feet.
Can he have a little streak of white hair like Rogue?
What? Why?
Because Quicksilver has white hair.
Okay, but he just has the streak.
He just has the streak.
Okay, interesting. But Dog and Bounty Hunter already has blonde hair. I'm pretty sure.
But it needs to just go to that next level.
The next level? Well, what if... Okay, so I'm picturing, like, him having a rough time in the movie because he keeps, like, breaking character and talking to the wrong Olsen twin that's there.
And he just keeps talking to the camera. He thinks it's another reality TV show. That's what he's used to.
I really like the idea of them.
Everyone recognizes him. They all know he's Dog the Bounty Hunter.
So does the whole thing about him being trapped under a building when he was 10 and the Tony Stark thing, is that all scrapped?
Yeah, they have no idea what he's talking about. And Scarlet Witch is very confused.
Okay. And she's also very confused because sometimes they don't remember which one's supposed to talk, if it's the one up on top or the one on bottom.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, and it's like, the shirt is very tight over the bottom one's mouth. And so like sometimes you see the mouth, like her mouth while she's talking, and like the cloth getting stuck in her mouth as she chokes for a little bit. Yeah, so that's
good.
That was rough. That was part of the production. That was tough for them. Are there any... Do we want to change out Don Cheadle? Because I like Don Cheadle as War Machine.
Have we not recasted him already?
I don't think we have.
Really?
Because he's not really in the first Avengers. So, I think... Yeah.
Alright, then the two we have left are Don Cheadle and Spader.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We can do Andy Serkis in the other movies.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so, who would we want?
Who could replace Don Cheadle?
Who can replace Don Cheadle?
Are cartoons an option? Yes, we already... Scooby-Doo is already the voice for Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget, just full stop. Or Brendan Fraser cast again as Inspector Gadget.
Didn't we cast him for something already?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure we've casted... There's no way we haven't casted Brendan Fraser. He's too perfect.
I feel like he's versatile enough. He's not in the first Avengers. I feel like he's versatile enough that if you see him playing Inspector Gadget as War Machine, which they're not too different from one another, the two.
Yeah, that's why it fits. It works.
I also just remembered that we casted Black Widow as Johnny Depp playing Edward Scissorhands in a Lego Edward Scissorhands cosplay.
Yes.
Which, that's what I was trying to remember. Now I'm picturing that scene with Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk and his children are there, and Edward Scissorhands in the Lego just like moving his arms up and down.
Yeah. Do you have a counter casting to Inspector Gadget?
Do you remember in Space Jam the scene where the Looney Tunes have to come to the real world?
Mm-hmm.
And they go and they have to obtain Michael Jordan's shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they got the bulldog...
I knew where you were going right away.
The bulldog that was protecting the shorts.
Uh-huh.
I think if they got him, and you never really see him outside of the suit too often, but mostly just when it goes to the War Machine thing, it's just a dog in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he never has any lines.
Right. And that would make it way more impactful when his legs get broken in Civil War.
Yeah.
You care way more about a bulldog than a black man.
Man. I can't wait till we do the roommates review and ask if it's racist. Because I know my answer.
No.
The answer is no. But, yeah, okay, so we already know who we're going to cast as Ultron.
Yeah.
We've already said it. We've established it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be David Spade.
It has to be David Spade.
It has to be David Spade.
We all knew from the beginning.
We all knew, but I feel like he should be trying to do his...
But I would also accept... It's Escape from Paradise.
Trapped in Paradise. Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. I would also accept Dana Carvey.
I really want to see Dana Carvey as Ultron. And doing that real goofy... All of us don't understand.
The voice. That one. Yeah. I'm thinking Dana Carvey from Trapped in Paradise.
I think Dana Carvey would be a good Ultron when he's talking to Barbara Walters' Iron Man. I mean, you can really see, you get her strict, stern charisma in there, and she, she's so hard-headed.
Right.
Right. She's just after the facts, right?
Yeah, the Carfax.
Yeah, she's all about the facts, and she gets Scooby-Doo on her side, and they get together and they're like, we got to make a better world. I've been doing Dateline now for 115 years, and I've seen the world is messed up, right? And she says, I got to make someone, and then who's exactly like Barbara Walters? Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey.
I think, and mostly he should just be He should be either doing his Trapped in Paradise thing, or he should be being George H.W. Bush from SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one or the other would really work.
I also now realize that because we casted Danny DeVito as Vision, we've retconned all previous movies with Jarvis, and it is always the voice of Danny DeVito.
That's amazing.
Which is really good.
Yeah, oh man, can you imagine him being really sarcastic to Iron Man? What's a classic Jarvis line? I'm sorry, Mr. Stark. I don't think that is a good decision.
And that was your Danny DeVito. No, that wasn't your Danny DeVito impression? Okay. Now do it with your Danny DeVito impression.
Mr. Stark.
Uh-huh.
I believe.
Okay. It's a little Hugo Weaving from Matrix.
I believe.
Getting there. All right, roll with that.
I believe it is time for us to reconsider our options, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. I like that.
That's good. Also, I like that. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch actually have Russian accents. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson said, nah.
She's a spy, though.
Yeah. So she can't have a Russian
accent.
So
she would never speak in her native accent.
Or
ever.
tongue. Or it ever come up that she's Russian. Hardly. Actually, barely. Do people even have a Russian accent in her flashback?
No.
Maybe she whitewashed them. Yeah. So I think that's a good cast. I think it's a big cast.
Yeah, and it's only gonna get bigger.
It's only it only gets bigger, and so that brings us to the last final part. Where are we going to rate this as far as numbers? Strictly 0 to 100. Where do we think that this one lands?
Yeah.
Has this review so far pushed you up or down in any way?
It's pushed me up by a couple points.
Really? I've been about the same.
Yeah.
Been about the same.
About the same.
Yeah. I would say that the negatives are very forgivable. The ones that are there. Characters you don't care about, it doesn't matter because there are 6 other characters that are really, really good.
Yeah.
So, that doesn't put it up to Avengers standard.
No.
First one, because that one, pretty much every character is good.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they're not well fleshed out, they're good. But yeah, I think...
Where did we put the Avengers?
Avengers was our highest at 95.
95, that's really good.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And Civil War was 92?
Yeah. So we have to decide where this movie is.
Yeah, where does it rank compared to those movies and compared to the others?
Right.
No, where does it rank on its own merit?
Where does it rank on its own merit?
That's what's important.
What are you feeling after watching this movie?
After watching this movie, I know my number.
I know mine as well. Every single time.
Every time I want to write 69.
Well, I'm just saying we do this bit every time when we write it down and then flip and show each other. It's to no one's benefit from.
No. This is a strictly audio medium.
And this is.
Oh. Well,
all right. I gave it a 90. Liam gave it an 86.
86.
So that puts us at an 88.
I liked it.
A fair bit.
I liked it quite a bit. I don't think it should be within 2 points of Civil War.
I think it should be. I think that I would watch this almost as often as I would watch Civil War. I think, and which is saddens me, I guess, because I've been missing out on a movie that I really liked by thinking that I didn't like it, which is very weird to me. I think that's the first time that's happened with a movie. We've actually done that.
It's funny. I've been noticing that a little bit more recently, and by that I mean with just one other movie. X-Men Apocalypse. While not a fantastic movie, it's a lot better than I remember it being.
Yeah.
When I watched it recently, we haven't reviewed it yet, and we'll have to watch it again, but it was better than I remember it being. Yeah. Much like this movie.
Yeah, so I don't know. Who knows? the biases of whatever are going to change around us for when we watch them. So I mean,
yeah, maybe Blade 2 will actually be incredible.
Yeah, I've heard that it is better than the first one, which that doesn't sound like much of an accomplishment to me. But, you know, I did very, very much hate the first Blade movie.
It was really bad.
Yeah. So that is going to put us at 88, and that is our third highest ranking movie.
I'm happy with that.
That squeezes in between Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America Civil War.
I'm happy with that.
Which I think is actually in a good spot.
That's a really good spot.
Yeah. I expected to like it a lot less.
Yeah.
But,
for sure.
Yeah.
I expected it to be at least 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a very good movie.
It's a solid movie.
And so if you didn't like it before, maybe give it another shot.
Try it again.
Maybe don't have just watched Iron Man 3.
Yeah, don't have just watched Iron Man 3. Don't have just watched Thor 2.
Yeah, that might have really...
See, but you'd think you'd go in... Maybe that was the problem. To put so much expectation on it because the other movies were so bad that they thought, like, this has to be amazing in every way. And it was really good. Maybe they just put too much expectation on it. We went into it with low expectations, and it was very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
So, watch it again. Lower your expectations, which they're already probably pretty low if you remember the movie, which you don't.
Also, forget what I said about, like, they can't let a cool moment rest and they have to do a gag because it'll ruin...
You'll concentrate on that the whole time.
It'll ruin everything. I'm sorry.